This is Eagle News Canada. I am Ken Soterio. Here are this week's top stories. Buhari says 100,000 are displaced by floods in central Nigeria. Kenya's Odinga says election board must resign and face prosecution. Now for details. According to a tweet from the country's president, Muhammadu Buhari, on Thursday, floods across central Nigeria, Makurdi, have displaced more than 100,000 people. Here's Mika David with the details.
Videos shared on social media showed flooded neighborhoods with streets cut off by high waters. Residents salvaging personal belongings from their flooded homes and wading through flood waters carrying luggage on their heads.
We are just hoping that the water will dry up. Along the road, we don't even know the water came from, we don't even know where, and we don't know how. Everywhere just started filled up with water. So this is what we are seeing now. We don't even have place to pack our things. You can see everything is up.
Yes.
So we are calling the government to assist us.
The Nigerian government has directed the National Emergency Management Agency and EMA to aid the victims, while the state government is set to embark on mass demolition of illegal structures built on waterways to avoid a repeat of the flood. Meanwhile, 2 internally displaced camps have been opened for victims. Reporting for Eagle News, I'm Mika David, 1 with 25.
Thank you, Mika. Kenyan opposition leader Raila Odinga said on Friday the election commission should resign and some officials should face criminal prosecution after the Supreme Court ruled that irregularities nullified last month's presidential election.
It is now also clear that the CEO, Ezra Chiloba, Director Immaculate Kasait, Commissioner in charge of ICT, Professor Abdi Yakub Guliye, Head of Legal Affairs, Praxidis Tororei, Mrs. Betty Nyabuto of Operations, and John Muhati of IT were co-conspirators with these criminals. They must face criminal prosecution.
Odinga held a press conference at his party headquarters hours after the court ordered a new poll within 60 days. An unprecedented move in Africa where governments are often seen holding sway over judges. Chief Justice David Maraga announced the Supreme Court's verdict that was backed by 4 of the 6 judges, saying the declaration of Kenyatta's victory was invalid, null and void. Details of the ruling will be released within 21 days. Judges said that they found no misconduct by Kenyatta, but said the election board failed, neglected, or refused to conduct the presidential election in a manner consistent with the dictates of the Constitution. Kenya's judiciary went through sweeping changes after 2007 election violence in a bid to restore confidence in the legal system. Friday's ruling is likely to galvanize pro-democracy campaigners across Africa, where many complain their judiciary simply rubber-stamp presidential rule. Coming up, Canada is preparing winter shelters as migrant wave continues. State of emergency extended in Western Canada over wildfires. B. Beer tests man's patience. Eagle News Canada will be back shortly. Welcome back. This is Eagle News Canada. Canada expects migrants to continue border jumping from the United States for many more months. And officials said Friday they are readying temporary accommodation to deal with the surge through winter. Here is Lynn Espiritu for more details.
A harsh winter is around the corner, and the government launched an urgent call for the winterized mobile homes. Many of the more than 7,000 migrants who crossed on foot from the U.S. state of New York into Canada's Quebec province since July 1st have been housed in tent cities near the border, set up by the military. Others were put up at Montreal's Olympic Stadium and other venues until better accommodations could be found. Temperatures in eastern Canada dropped to 6 degrees Celsius at night at the end of August and could fall further in the coming weeks. The tendering document says the trailer must be comfortable in all seasons and ready within 6 weeks of the awarding of the contract. The mobile homes would be needed to house 200 people in Saint Bernard de la Cour, Quebec, about 60 kilometers south of Montreal. Most of the recent arrivals are Haitians who face expulsion from the United States when their temporary asylum permit, granted after the devastating 2010 earthquake, expires at the end of the year. The wave of migrants started after Donald Trump was elected president last year, with thousands crossing into central Manitoba province in the dead of winter. One woman died in the cold before reaching the border, while 2 men lost their fingers of frostbite during the treacherous journey across snow-covered fields and black woods. Reporting for Eagle News, I am Lynn Espiritu, and I'm 1 with 25.
Thank you, Lynn. Here is Ann Solmerano reporting on the most recent news about the wildfires in Canada's most western country.
A state of emergency was extended Friday in Canada's western province of British Columbia, where thousands of firefighters have been battling wildfires for months. The announcement marks the 4th time the state of emergency has been renewed in the province since it was issued on July 7th. The order allows for the mobilization of firefighting resources and the mandatory evacuation of citizens where fires are encroaching on residential areas. British Columbia has experienced its worst wildfire season ever, as temperatures have soared and precipitation remained unusually low. Most of the 50,000 people who were forced to flee have been able to return to their homes, but 3,600 are still subject to evacuation orders. As of Friday, there were 160 active fires in British Columbia. Since April, more than 1 million hectares, nearly 2.5 million acres, of forests have been destroyed by fire, the largest area burned on record. The largest of the fires, dubbed Plateau, burned for 2 months and now covers 493,000 hectares in a sparsely populated mountainous region west of the town of Quesnel. Some 600 firefighters, 30 helicopters, and 89 pieces of heavy machinery for moving dirt have been deployed to battle the Plateau fire, said the Wildfire Service. Reporting for Eagle News, I'm Ann Solmerano. I'm 1 with 25.
Thank you, Ann. Toronto was all abuzz on Thursday, August 31st, as a new bee beard record was set by Juan Carlos Noguez Ortiz. Ortiz works at a bee honey farm in Ontario. He just claimed the Guinness World Record for sitting for 61 minutes with his face blanketed by bees, besting the previous record by almost 8 minutes. According to Ortiz, he's a novice at this sort of stunt, having tried it only twice before setting the record. Ortiz sat calmly during the record, even when getting stung twice, remaining still as he had the bees brushed off him following the record-setting stunt. Up next, Toronto's most anticipated street festival. Eagle News Canada will be right back. Welcome back. This is Eagle News Canada. EBC's Arnie Aquino takes us to Toronto's most anticipated street festival. Let's take a look.
Hi everyone, we're here at Greektown in the heart of Toronto, where we're going to be celebrating the Taste of Danforth Street Festival. Let's check it out! The Taste of the Danforth claims to be Canada's largest street festival, with approximately 1.6 million attendees each year. This year, the festival is celebrating its 24th anniversary, same year as Canada and Ontario's 150th birthday. The Greater Toronto Area claims to have more than 200,000 residents of Greek ancestry, the third largest Greek community outside of Greece. At the festival, you can find an assortment of not just purely traditional Greek food, but also a range of Greek and Western cuisine fusion. Spectators have the opportunity to experience being Greek for a day, surrounded with traditional and modern Greek music and dance performances, along with a chance to break a plate and yell "Oppa" at the top of your lungs. However, the festival is much more than just a celebration of the Danforth's Greek heritage. It is also an expression of Canada's multiculturalism. Its celebrity stage includes performances by Bollywood dancers, Latin American bands, and even stunt performances. Restaurants along the Danforth also offers tasting menus for no more than $6 for attendees to enjoy a variety of tasty treats. Found at the Taste of Danforth are fresh oysters, blooming onions, lukmaris, whole quails, and more. The variety of food available at the festival is a manifestation of the diversity in Toronto, even when it comes to cuisine. It gave everyone something to eat and made it very difficult for everyone not to overeat. Small carnival rides such as the Ferris wheel and some games were sweet additions.
Wow, that was an amazing experience! Reporting from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, my name is Arnie Aquino. I am 1 with 25.
Thank you, Arnie. That is Eagle News Canada this week. Visit our website at Eaglenews.PH. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/EagleNewsPH. I am Ken Soterio, and I am 1 with 25. See you next week.